Welcome, welcome, welcome to the pod. You're listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts, and we are back with another Toxic Tuesday episode. And it is a very toxic episode. We got some things to discuss. I'm going to be talking about Potomac and Married to Medicine. I'm going to talk a little bit about Salt Lake City, but not really because I don't know if it's just me. I highly doubt it, but I'm kind of over Salt Lake City, the whole gang up for Meredith, and that's what I will talk about. But it's like the same old, same old. That's why I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing really interesting going on. This Greek trip, I was like so looking forward to this Greece trip. Angie's hosting it, and I'm telling you, what the best trip this season has been the boat. The boat has been the best season. I fear like this Greece trip. It's like we're already 3 episodes in and we're just still talking about the same stuff. Heather can really just be off of my screen for good. We got some reality topics. As of now, I'm going to try to put Jersey Shore Part 2 out on Friday. However, don't be shocked if it's not out. I'm not sure. Just depending on my research and stuff, I don't know if I'll be able to really have like all the stuff I really want before I record. I'm going to attempt to though. So if I really do attempt, I'm going to be so proud of myself. But yeah, I am a little behind with like getting my research for part 2. So it's just like, I don't know if I'm putting out an episode yet or not for Friday. I'm going to try though. I'm definitely going to try. How are you guys doing? It's about to be Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm enjoying my week off in the office and in general, just I'm enjoying my week off. And yeah, I needed a debrief before the holidays, and I'm so glad I saved my PTO. Guys, I started reading and I'm like addicted to this Wendy series, Wendy City series. It's basically like sports romance, and I'm addicted, but you can tell like I haven't read in so long like a good series because I started from book 2. So I'm reading the Windy City series by Liz Tomford, and I just stumbled across it on Amazon. I'm really excited. So I finished book 2, which was The Right Move, when I should have started with Mile High. So I already know the fate of the characters from Mile High based on The Right Move, but I still wanted to read Mile High's love story and how they even got together or whatever. So I started, it's like a 5-book series, sports romance, different sports, but it's an all connected group. I really like it. And I really love The Right Move. And then I realized I had ordered my book 3. I'm like, wait, I didn't read book 1, which is Mile High, which I'm really into right now, which is really good. These are top rated books on Amazon. And I think like they got good ratings on Goodreads and Book Talk. So I'm really excited. I will be into this. I also read like self-help books too. But like my niche is definitely like sport, like not even sports romance, but like romance, like, and not cliche romance. Like I don't like it when the guy's just like mean for no reason. I like sports romance though, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I'm not your number one sports girl, but I am into the sports romance. I find something very exciting about it. And yeah, I just find it so funny how in my reading journey I started with like book 2 when I need to start with book 1. But whatever. How are you guys doing? Merry Christmas, like I said. I hope everyone is enjoying the holiday times. And that's honestly why I will say I don't know if I will have my part 2 of Jersey Shore, because it'll be holiday time and everyone just wants a break. But nonetheless, I'm bringing you Toxic Tuesday, and we have topics to discuss. First up on it, podcasts are going digital, which we already knew that, but like they're collaborating now with streaming. So Netflix and iHeartMedia have a deal, and this is like signing like the top creators of iHeartMedia podcasts. And now Netflix is going to be bringing you on their platform the video format of the top performing podcasts from iHeartMedia. And I think this is going to transition to Spotify and everything. I think Netflix can ink and deal with anyone. The money's large over there. But in this press release with iHeartMedia, I just think this is so fascinating. iHeartMedia, the number one. I used to intern at iHeartMedia, guys, by the way. The number one audio company in America, Netflix, today announced an exclusive video podcasting partnership for more than 15 industry-leading original iHeart podcasts. The agreement includes all new episodes from the podcast lineup, as well as select library episodes from each show. New video podcast episodes will launch on Netflix in early 2026 in the U.S., with more markets to follow. The lineup of podcasts joining includes The Breakfast Club co-host Charlamagne the God. That is like the one that I think that's the biggest out of all of these. Obviously, Dear Chelsea is pretty popular. I'm talking about ones I know. Joe and Jada, I know. Those are like the ones I know, but I think Charlamagne the God, his being like the biggest deal ever, like his was a $200 million deal with Netflix, which is insane. And yeah, I watch The Breakfast Club. Like, I tune in and see what's going on because they do have like the latest pop culture news and stuff, and I have to stay pop culture-y. So that is really good. His deal is $200 million. What? He's eating good over there. He is eating good. He just proves every day why he is a media god, like literally. Some other news that's like digital wise, because I know I normally talk about people, but I'm like, what is going on? The Oscars is now going to be leaving ABC Family or ABC Network and is going on YouTube. But this isn't starting, I don't think, until 2029. So we still have some time. When this came out, I was assuming this was happening like next year. This isn't happening until 2029. So this article with The Hollywood Reporter is saying the Disney-owned Alphabet Network, I don't know why they said Alphabet Network, will continue to air the Oscars long, the world's most watched awards telecast, through the 100th edition of the awards show in 2028. So that's the only reason they're doing it until then, or I think they would have done it sooner, but they're like, okay, we'll wait to the 100th edition. After that, the ceremony will be available live and for free to over 2 billion people around the world. On YouTube and YouTube TV. And I think that's the biggest gag. It's like, it won't just be on YouTube TV. It'll be free. Like, you'll be able to access this. It'll be streaming free. So I just think it's like making these award shows more accessible because the ratings have been sinking. A lot of people are catching this on TikTok Live. A lot of people do not have cable. Streaming is the new day and age, hence Netflix, iHeartMedia's, new deal. I just think this is going to be the new way of life, especially as we venture into like the later 20s and the later 2020s and into the 2030s. Like, the digital world, Gen Z was raised on the digital. And then we think we were raised on digital. Gen Alpha, the next generation, is really been raised on it. So I thought that was also interesting. But we do have two more topics to talk about. I wanted to talk about. Now we're getting into the people. That was just like the digital update. Wendy, Osefo, and I was going to say Eddie Hennessy. Eddie Osefo, there are some updates going on with that. Prosecutors have revealed that they have very little money in 67 credit/debit cards. So that could mean 67 credit and debit cards. That could mean 67 credit cards, 67. Like, they are in so much debt, you guys. It is insane. I'm reading this article from Blast, and hopefully it lets me scroll. This is from this article. Real Housewives of Potomac stars Wendy and Eddie Osefo were back in the court on December 19, 2025 for their ongoing fraud case. In an attempt to block prosecutors from viewing 8 years' worth of their financial records, prosecutors argued to the court that there is a public demand and interest in the case, and that securing Wendy and Eddie's financial documents would ensure that justice is done. During the recent court hearing, prosecutors also revealed that Wendy and Eddie, quote unquote, have very little money. They've been apparently burdened by substantial debt and have 67 credit cards. Yikes. According to a previous report from the Blast, prosecutors revealed that the Osefos have a pattern of excessive spending, which they believe, quote unquote, support a motive in their criminal case. At the time, prosecutors alleged that the couple is burdened by substantial debt and that they found approximately 40 credit and or debit cards in their names and those of different companies. A new report from the Baltimore Banner revealed that the reality TV couple frequently use aliases, including Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy, stuff we already know. Prosecutors also amended their earlier statement, sharing that they found 67 credit cards in 4 different luxury wallets, including lambskin black quilted Chanel wallet, and which had previously been reported stolen in that whole alleged scam robbery. So when is the next time they are due in court? I think they are going to trial April 2026. And by then, the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion will have already aired. And I do believe she is planning on going to the reunion. I've seen the pictures of them at their next hearing, and they seem pretty confident. But I also don't know if they're high on their own supply. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they are. They both just look zooted and out of it, like Meredith Marks on this past episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Before we get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is Ace and Chelley together or not? Okay, because she went on Page 6, or she went on something and said that they were separated, broken up, and now I'm seeing this tweet that Chelley tweeted: "I love and care so much about Ace, and I'm choosing to handle our relationship with more privacy and intention moving forward. I just ask that there would be respect and kindness on both sides, and that the hate and speculation stop." In my Sheree's voice, is this me? What Sheree say? She'd be like, "Is this me?" You know, she stumble. Chelley, did you not announce that y'all were broken up, and now you're saying you want to handle your relationship with more privacy and intention moving forward? And now you're asking for the hate and speculation to stop? What is there to speculate? The relationship is done. Janae is living her best life on Tart Island in Turks and Caicos. If you guys haven't seen the countless amount of Snapchat stories, find on Instagram, on Snapchat archives. I don't know how Snapchat works. I can't believe people still use Snapchat. Check out Janae living her best life, celebrating her 29th birthday. These Love Island people are doing me in. Chelley, she's just so attention seeking to me. I think she thought announcing the breakup, oh my gosh, is this snowing? I think it's literally snowing where I'm at. Wow. She's like one of those people that's like, why would you announce that? She announced it, and now she's kind of like taking it back. She's like, well, actually, I don't want you guys to speculate that. But it's like, did you not announce that the relationship was over? But so I don't think she got the press she thought she was going to receive for this breakup. I don't think a lot of outlets were covering it. Maybe social media outlets were. I mean, news outlets, no one really cared. So I think now that it's been super dry. Also, Ace hasn't said anything. He also hasn't removed any photos of them. So a lot of people were speculating that they were trying to just get some buzz generated. A lot of people also said that, you know, they just really thought they were going to be popular. I'm one of those people. I might be the only one. I'm not. But they really just thought they were going to be more popping. And that's why they did like 30 different Halloween costumes to really showcase their skills. And they just thought their phone was going to be ringing off the hook, but they just come off so thirsty to me. So it's like, I think it's very cringe. I feel really bad for her. Guys, I'm genuinely shocked because it is like actually starting to snow hard where I'm at, and there was no snow in the forecast today. So that's shocking, because now it's snow in the forecast. And it's coming down kind of crazy. Okay. Chelley is just being Chelley's just so thirsty to me. And you know what's crazy? I forgot the biggest headline. Oh my gosh. Chelley and Mariah the Scientist went to college together. And if we want to talk about desperado individual women, I'm putting them in the same category. I totally forgot. Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug got engaged at an Atlanta concert. First of all, manipulative AF. Any man that proposes to you after cheating on you publicly and proposes to you publicly at your concert or his concert is manipulating. It's manipulating AF. It's manipulating AF. I really hope they don't make it down the aisle. The way nobody was moved, we were not moved. I've never seen Twitter so united, and it could not have been more clear that these two should not be in a relationship. They were dragging them in the comments. They were like, Mariah, now what the heck? The tea is, though, people are saying the ring is ugly. I actually think the ring is pretty raw. Like, I actually like the ring, but we all have different tastes. I actually think the ring is raw AF. But I don't know why there's a wedding band on there. I'm seeing a lot of, like, it's like a lot of people are proposing with wedding bands. It's like you don't get the wedding band until you cross the wedding. It's normally just one band, so it had the wedding band on it. I thought the ring was actually pretty raw, so I don't know if you guys can trust my opinion or not, because I guess it's like a questionable, fashionable piece. But yeah, they are engaged. That was the biggest headline news, and she actually went to school with Chelley. And what's crazy is she's like, it's so weird that people call her Chelley because I know her as Michelle. And that was the same thing that Chelley's sister had said, because Chelley was like, I remember like towards the final, she was like, it's so weird that everyone's calling you Chelley when I know you as my sister Michelle. Like, no one calls her Chelley. So she's like reinvented her whole life. I don't know. I do not like Chelley, you guys. I don't like Chelley. I've seen it from a mile away. There's some sort of entitlement and just like, there's something, like, I just get bad energy from this girl. I get very like destiny swapping vibes. Like, she's trying to destiny swap with Alandria. Like, I get like vibes of like her praying in the corner trying to destiny swap with Alandria in her life. Like, I just get mad hater vibes from both of them. I really do. But needless to say, Mariah the Scientist, I hope she is happy if that's what she wants. You know, I think there's been countless times we've seen her at her concerts crying, though. She's always crying after the latest of him cheating on her. So I just don't understand why she would even say yes. But it's hard to say no so publicly. But them moving anywhere towards a marriage is the wrong decision. Believe me, it is the wrong decision. Speaking of wrong decisions, Nicki Minaj is showing her whole ass. The fake one. It is fake. Totally. She is now reuniting with MAGA and conservatives in Erica Kirk at this latest Arizona event. I think it was for Charlie Kirk. It was like something, and they brought out Nicki Minaj, and I've never thought in this lifetime that Nicki Minaj would become the token Black woman for the conservatives, because there's nothing conservative about her. But she thinks that Trump is the best decision to be president, and this is how I know MAGA's upset and scared. And I just think in general with Trump, I just been hearing like there's some drama going on over there. I don't stay over there, obviously, because you know where I'm at. But apparently there's some drama over there. Like they're not really satisfied with Trump. Trump's saying he's giving us $1,000 in tax refund when it's like that's nothing. Like, that is so nothing. That's so minuscule. Like, I think some people are going to be genuinely happy, but it's like, this is money that should have been ours in the first place. This is money that we overpaid. That's the only reason we're getting it back. But people don't think like that. I don't like to talk politics on this podcast, but Nicki Minaj just totally flipped. Her career is kind of like a joke now. I saw she has an album coming out March 2026. But her, like, if she's not on Twitter calling out Jay-Z or Cardi B, she is now with the MAGAs and the conservatives. And yeah, so basically she thinks Trump is the best decision for a president. She referred to Gavin Newsom as Gavin Newscum. I think news scum, like scum, not the other one. And then she like called like Trump like sexy or whatever. Like she was just like, we have this attractive male. And then she's also transphobic, so that's crazy, and homophobic. She said if you were born a boy, you need to remain a boy. What is the issue? Not on my bingo card given her fan base. So I don't know. It's like the biggest joke. I just love how we're all trolling her on TikTok and Twitter, and then I love how Cardi B is also trolling her. It's just like, this is like just some gutter snipe stuff. I have a theory that I do think if she would come forward with this, and also I don't know this whole like protecting like the Christians, it's like there's a lot of weird stuff going on, like she's like coming out about, that I'm just like, why are you, it's like the persecution of Christians in the West African country, like in Nigeria. And it's just, I don't know what made her the authority on what's going on. Like, I don't know who would trust her word for certain serious topics like that. But I had a theory that the only reason she has become so outspoken for her love of Trump is because he has probably promised some sort of clemency or some sort of, exile from the child predatory list for her husband, Kenneth Petty, that was actually, on the child predatory list. And he can't even be like within 10 feet of a playground or anything because he's on that list because of an incident that happened when he was younger. But it's like Nicki Minaj has a history of being around these type of men. Like her brother was in a whole child sex abuse case. So I don't know if it's like, okay, you support us, we'll support you, we'll get these names removed. But I don't know if it can work that way. There's no other reason I see why Nicki Minaj has joined the dark side. But it honestly makes sense. She's been off her bonkers lately. She's been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lately. Like I said, if you're not on Twitter dogging Cardi B, she's posting about Jay-Z and the money he owes. And I'm like, girl, it's just very sad to see her fall from grace. I categorize Nicki Minaj as someone that's just very bitter in life. People aren't bowing down to her. She wanted to be the only female rap queen so much. She's turned on everyone she's collabed with. She's collabed with all the new artists. And then like she's turned on all of them. She's really kind of sick in the head. It's like you have to have this loyal and allegiance to her and only her. And then once you start working with other people, like she's very one of those people, like you gotta only be loyal and you just have to have this allegiance towards her. She's very threatened by the new wave of women in hip hop. So yeah, that's the latest with Nicki Minaj. I do want to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I want to make sure I touched on everything though on my list before I get into Salt Lake City. Oh my gosh, why is my outline loading? I think I talked about everything. Yeah, that's everything. Oh my gosh, Emily in Paris is out, and Emily in Paris is already pissing me off because it makes no sense for Mindy and Alfie to start getting together. Sorry, spoiler alert, you guys, if you haven't started watching it. I'm not even done with the season. I really have no motivation to watch it. I've seen Lily Collins, and I don't even know if I should say this, but she does not look healthy to me. There's also these pictures circulating. Her whole stomach is caving in. I know she has opened up about struggling with her eating disorder. I do think there's still maybe a current existing problem because she does not look healthy to me. So it's kind of really difficult for me to watch her in Emily in Paris when she doesn't look healthy to me at all. Her stomach's literally caving in, like her ribs are caving in. She doesn't even stand up straight. She can't stand up straight. Her posture is so poor because her ribs and like her body's trying to support her lack of nutrients. So I don't know. This season's kind of weird because we already know what's going to happen. She just wants to get back with Gabriel. She's in Rome, so that's a nice destination. I don't know. I just think like we wait all this time. That's my only thing with Netflix. Like we wait all this time for these shows we love, and then we only get 10 episodes of them. And Emily in Paris isn't even hour-long episodes, not 40-minute long. They're like 23-minute long episodes. And I'm like, I wait this long for this. And I think I'm really pissed off about the whole Mindy Alfie thing. I'm like, I thought we were just going to write him off. I mean, he's beautiful to look at, but it makes no sense for me for them to get involved because I don't think Mindy would ever really do that to a friend. So it just seems like, okay, is this the last season? I think I see them having one more season. I think it did get renewed for season 5 and 6. So maybe season 6 will be the final season. I think it should be. Because it's kind of, this writing's gone pretty stale. It's gone pretty stale. It's become very predictable. But what I will say that was not predictable was Mindy and Alfie getting together. Like I said, I just think that's not something Mindy's character would normally do. You was just bored and single. That is what that is. But let's talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and the problem they have over there. I can see the cast, a lot of the cast getting let go over there in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Meredith had a whole breakdown in Greece because it was Mother's Day and, you know, she wanted to hear from Brooks and Chloe. She did hear from them. I don't know. Meredith was doing the most. But also, I just don't think Meredith wants to be around those women. I wouldn't want to be. And I guess Brooks had a flight, and so she was really trying to talk to him. I don't know. It just seems like it was blown out of proportion. However, I'm ready for Heather's takedown season, which is why I was like, why wouldn't you put Jen Shah back on the show? Because that is something that is very much happening. But I don't know. I just feel like Heather and Whitney are so holding on to this issue when Brittany's not even holding on to it. And I loved Angie clocking Brittany about her hair. Why are you trademarking high body count hair? Brittany has too many extensions. Her hair, it gives me like Kyle Richards circa like 2008 when she first started on Beverly Hills, and her hair was just, it was long and gorgeous, but it was so limp, there was no body to it. And you know, she didn't do nothing to her hair. She just kept out. Kyle, the infamous, like, oh my gosh, let me rub my hands through my hair and push it to the side. Like Kyle, she always had her hands in her hair. It used to drive me nuts. So, but yeah, Brittany's hair looks a mess. And I was just here for, towards the end of the episode, Angie saying your hair actually is not good. And she's like, when I look at your hair, it makes me want to cut a few inches off of mine. You know, she was just going in on Brittany nonstop. I like Angie, but like I said, I had so much more high hopes for this trip, and it's really falling flat because it's like Brittany's not even mad at Meredith anymore. Y'all just getting mad at her at different stuff now. Like, y'all not even really mad at her for the situation on the airplane. Why are we still talking about this if there's no footage? Heather has become very unlikable, and I continue to say that the more weight she lost, the more Regina George she morphed into. But even Regina George, I would still want to hang out with. You know what I mean? I don't want to hang out with Heather Gay. Heather Gay is this loser that has never been at the cool girls table. She dropped a couple pounds. She did 200,000 worth of, you know, plastic surgery. And now she's trying to tell somebody that they're insecure on their looks when, look at you and look how you used to look. You're the last one to be sharing this message. And now you sit at the cool girls table and you're trying to get rid of another cool girl that you are jealous of, and you is just clicking down. She's completely clicking down. She's lost all her sense of humanity and relatability. Like, she used to be so relatable. She used to be funny. Like, Heather had that in her. And now she's just trying so hard with this narrative. I don't want to be a mom. Like, I hate being a mother. And it's just like, girl, get something else. Get something else. She does look good in her one confessional with the super blonde hair and like the purple dress or something. I really did like that. But this one confessional she debuted is like this jewelry piece attached to her shoulders. It looks awfully terrible while she's like on the phone, like pretending like one of her daughters call. And I don't know. Heather, she's just clicking down for me. Whitney is a mess. There are rumors that there will be an announcement at the reunion about possibly Whitney and Justin no longer being together. If that does happen, my intuition has never been so on key. I've said that from the beginning. I said once Salt Lake City gets their first divorce, because they will, due to the show, it will be Whitney and Justin. Because at the end of the day, Justin lost his job for that horrendous display of affection on the TV screen of them in the bathtub. Or was it the bathtub? It was them painting. He lost his job because of that. He has in return resented Whitney ever since. Can you blame him? And then he has now invested into her business, and the business fell apart. And I said, honestly, you got to be careful with men like that, because there's a part of me that definitely thinks that he was saying that or trying to invest in that to kind of get his get back. He was very upset about how he lost his job and everything he had due to the show. So let me invest in your business, baby, and then let me blow it up in flames. I don't know. I could see it happening that way. I wouldn't be completely shocked if he had an ulterior motive. Justin's a good guy, but I don't know, especially Whitney has another thing coming though, because her stake on the show is only because of Heather. She's kind of like a Robin Dixon. So I don't know. Whitney, I do think she's necessary to the show even more so than Heather, but I do think she isn't necessary for the show. There's plenty of Whitneys that you can find. You can't find another Mary. You can't find another Meredith. You can't find another Lisa. And you can't find, I personally think, another Angie. And Bromwyn. There's certain people that I just feel like are not replaceable on that cast. And it is an ensemble cast. We could function without Heather and Whitney, and that's the real tea. And that's why Heather is so upset that Meredith honestly worked it out with Brittany without her, because she's like, I'm supposed to be the person that gets the group together. I'm supposed to be the, person delivering the common voice, gathering the minds, speaking for the folks. Y'all figure this out without me? Oh no, this is about to become my whole storyline. That is why Heather's really upset. I don't know, Salt Lake City, I'm glad we are taking a break, for the New Year's and for Christmas, because I do need a break from it. I am over it. What I'm not over? Married to Medicine and Potomac. Let's get into those fresh recaps I did just watch. I am so baffled, you guys. There was no snow in the forecast, and I'm looking at my window. You can't tell. The snow is coming down. WTF. Okay, let's get into this Potomac recap, which was another good episode. Potomac is killing it. We're on episode 12, I think. So we still have, I would say, probably 6 more episodes, maybe 8 more episodes. I can see them going up to episode 18, 19. Maybe they'll go up to 20. Maybe they will. So Angel, we're coming off of the tail end of the ladies essentially accusing Angel of being evicted and only coming here to be in with the group, basically for the show. Angel denies that. She says she simply just got the dates mixed up with the Airbnb lady. She's like, no one was literally evicted, and she did not come here to be a part of the group. And then in her confessional, she actually said, why would I come here to hang out with Ashley, Giselle, and Wendy? I think because you thought you were going to get along with Ashley and Giselle. That's why. But also, why not say that in scene? You think I came here to hang out with y'all? Let's be for real. And that's my issue with Angel. Why the heck we not just gonna say that in scene? Let's say what it is. Let's say what it is. Let's mention it all in my Bethany Frankel voice. You guys think I need to move to Maryland to kick it with y'all? No. And that's why she clicks down for us, because you want to say this stuff in the confessional, because that would have been a better read. Tiermo exits the building. Is it Tiermo? He has exited after 36 minutes at the party. He came to support Stacy so these heifers could stop saying this man don't exist. And just as when he walked in, Giselle had the most sour face. Lord, I hope I do not look like Giselle. That is just a bitter soul walking this earth. If Giselle has no haters, I am dead. She is the most bitter person I've ever laid my eyes on. She's so nasty and foul, and it's in her soul. At least with Ashley, she's just doing it for a check. Giselle is genuinely unhappy in life. As soon as she saw Tiermo last episode, she had the most stank, disgusted face on her And honestly, it's hard to tell if that was her real face or not. But as soon as he leaves, she's so giddy about it when Wendy relays that information. Wendy, she's messy. He thanked you for meeting him. He carried on. He exited out. And then you're going to run the two messiest girls you know and tell them he leaves and how like you kind of had some mess with it. And it's just like, are you and Stacey friends or not? Or do you use Stacey as the butt of the joke? Or do you only use Stacey to uplift you because you love rooting for an underdog? Like, I don't understand Wendy's motive in that friendship with Stacey. Is it, I do see what Kay means. Is it because it makes you look better rooting for the underdog? Because I 110% see that now. I don't know, I should run back. It was just kind of messy the way that information was delivered. And so now you're giving them ammo to be even more nasty to Stacey and then questioning I can't even say it, the validity of the situation when it's like, he showed up. Who is showing up for you guys? No one. He is showing up. And it's like, you wish your ex would show up, Giselle, because you've been embarrassed with Stacey say enough times on camera by a man. Like, I just think she's such a nasty spirited person, and the way they try to flip it. And then you know who's also nasty is like literally this conversation with Ashley and Charisse about her 27-year-old son who's literally my age, who should be dating more appropriately his age, messing with his mom's friend. I'm disgusted. And my thing is like, Giselle, where's that energy? You said Stacey cannot be trusted around children, around kids, around husbands. Ashley very well cannot be trusted around kids. She slept because it wasn't a kiss. They slept together. She slept with Charisse's 27-year-old son. Fully age appropriate for him. You know, he's 27. He's nowhere near the 21 bracket, you know, the 18 bracket. Okay. Ashley is 37. She looks good AF. I mean, I'm not going to ever say Ashley's not a pretty woman, but for you to sleep with your friend's son is wild. And we find out on Watch What Happens Live that he had just moved back home with Charisse when they slept together. Ew. And the thing is, Charisse is so desperate to be back on Real Housewives of Potomac that she's willing to pimp her son out. She's giving me Kim Zolciak vibes. She's so desperate to be back on. She's in it every scene. She does have a freaking lace lingerie bodysuit on at a kids event, looking like Ice Spice at that SpongeBob event. She has a freaking lace bodysuit on, and she's literally playing with the kids. And she's just showing up in every scene. Like, she's so thirsty. It's like, Charisse, you're not getting paid. Why are you showing up to these scenes? I get that she's apparently the connector of the group, but you're not even in the group anymore. It's like Jill Zarin of Roni. Like, you were the connector, but you clearly weren't connected enough to stay connected on the cast. Like, it's like, what is your point in showing up to these events? At least Jill Zarin, once she was off the show, she didn't want to show up no more. She didn't want to be filmed at all until like 4 or 5 seasons later. Charisse is so thirsty that she's like pimping out her son. Because I'm like, that is not a normal reaction for a mother finding out that their friend has slept with their son. I'm so disgusted by that. And I just wonder if Giselle feels the type of way. Because you're the same one saying like, Stacey can't be trusted around husbands and children. But it's like, no, your friend, Ashley, who you have an alliance with, actually can't. I don't know. It is very weird. So now we go back. Angel is still harping on the fact that these ladies then caught her out, think that she's being evicted. I get it, girl. But now she is talking to Tia on the side. Angel is actually not playing the games either. She does not want to interact with these women. I don't blame her. My issue with Angel is you're talking to Tia about this stuff. Pull one of the heifers aside that just called you out. Like, Tia knows what you're going through. Tia's actually defended you. You know who didn't defend you? Your good friend Kay, who I would think would want to defend you in the scene. She has not defended you at all. That's the real tea. That's the real gag. that lackluster event aside, we moved to Tiramo and Stacy. They're like working out, and I just wrote down in my notes. I was like, "Do they have chemistry? Like, do they?" She says she wants a bootay. He's like, absolutely not. He likes his women thin, frail, all bones. He does not want her getting a Potomac butt. And he did not like her hanging out with these black women with some bodies. He said, please keep your nothing straight back, no butt body, big breasts. He said, I do not want you getting a butt hanging out with these black women on this show. That is what TMO has said. So Wendy's house is renovated. It's gorgeous. The kitchen is gorgeous, but I just cannot help but, you know, is it production? Are the editors being extra messy? We clearly know there is some stuff going on financially, legally with Wendy and Eddie Hennessy. Why you would take a debit or credit card out in that name is beyond me. I don't know why you would even do that. But yeah, so the renovations look lovely. How much money did they cost? Because we know as of today that apparently they have very little money. And it's not shocking, you know, the renovations, the student debt, the constant new ventures she's on. I wonder what happened with the talk show. Is she still doing that? I don't know. And then the constant, like, just label whores. They're label whores, you know? But we have the biggest scene to talk about with Wendy and her family. But so before we get to that, I do want to talk about Kay's gift that she received from Greg. I don't know. I think Kay is a gorgeous woman and she's a business girl. She's a hustler, you know. I'm very shocked that she thinks this is what she deserves. Maybe she is one of those old school folks, you know. I think Kierna's 38. So, you know, she's like, I invested X amount of time in this person. This person better be my person. I understand that. But you only are getting older. And this man went to a jewelry place to look for rings and walked out with a picture frame. And you know what I thought would have been cute if he did like the ring in the picture frame. Like it was a picture of the ring. And then she's like, oh, like, what's this? And he turned around and like, oh my gosh, she's on his knees proposing to you. None of that happened. Okay, first of all, he's like, I got a gift for you for moving back in. It's in a Home Depot box or like, you know, one of those moving box. A bouquet of fresh flowers in a box, a cardboard box, and then a bag with this jeweler that she knows she sent him to get a ring. And she pulls it out and it's a picture frame. It's a picture frame. Not even a bracelet, earrings, a necklace, a picture frame. Kay is going out sad. It's clicking down, sweetie. It really is. And I can't even throw shade at Kay like I want to because I know she was embarrassed. What woman would not be embarrassed to open a jeweler's box from the jeweler place I sent you? I knew it wasn't a ring, but for it to be a picture frame, let's move on to the biggest scene that has happened. Wendy has a blowout with her mom and her sister. And this stems from Wendy calling up her father, FaceTiming him, they communicate. Wendy so desperately wants that father-daughter relationship. And it possibly could stem from the fact that whenever it's her mom and her sister, it's always 2-on-1, or she just genuinely, like, she doesn't have the resentment her mom holds for this man, right? It's understandable, and it's understandable. It's understandable. However, I do think Wendy's kind of using it as a storyline. Can I say that? She's using it as a storyline. Why in your right mind would you think your mom wants to hear about your call with the father that left her to go start a whole new family, didn't pitch in, had her working and hustling 4 jobs? I understand both sides of the spectrum, but when I look at Wendy's mom, I see nothing but bitterness as well, cold soul. But a lot of the reason why Wendy and Eddie are in their current situation is because they're always trying to seek approval from their families in the Nigerian culture. And I've said that and I'll keep saying it. A lot of what they're doing and how they're moving financially and why they are in this mess is because they're always trying to put on and show up. She cannot wait to open that door for her mom and sister to see her newly renovated house. She cannot wait for them to see what she's done. This is what I'm capable of doing, I don't need that teaching job. I'm still making just as much money, or am I? I don't think she is. And I don't know. It was just very weird. I just think I see a lot of family trauma. I can't speak on that. What I can speak of is what I've seen in the scene. And her mom and sister think she don't even know her culture and that she is performative and attention seeking. And I've never seen Wendy like that, kind of. It was shocking. It was actually very shocking. It was a blowout. It was a lot of family stuff we don't know. But I will say, I think why Wendy is currently in the problems and the drama she is right now is because she's trying to seek approval from her mom and dad. And I do think it's unfair for her mom to be like, well, you should hate this man as well. Like, he abandoned you. Clearly she don't. But I don't think it's fair for Wendy to try to force and kind of share her becomings and her findings with her father and her progress to her mom. Her mom don't really care. She don't give an F. She doesn't like him. He left her. He abandoned you. You shouldn't like him. She don't care. So it's like, why are you constantly trying to she don't care. So it's like, I don't know what else Wendy wants to do. I don't know what else. It's a huge blow up though. It's a huge blow up. It's shocking, honestly, see even her sister's just kind of it turns into a whole huge blow up. Wendy does not want them doing this in front of her kids, rightfully so. She tries to get her kids to move up there, but it becomes a whole thing. And yeah, it becomes a whole thing. And I don't have much to add to it, you guys. I want to move on to Married to Medicine, but I will say it makes a lot of sense as to why she's in this financial issue, because she wants to impress her family so bad, but it did turn into a huge match. Her mom told her to shut the F up. I mean, honestly, if you ask me, people are like, oh my gosh, her mom was being so harsh, extra. You can't really speak on family culture. You can't really speak on family dynamics. I can understand why her mom don't want to hear it. Why are we talking about this man after how many times? And that's why, I don't know if you guys clocked it. Her mom, I think it was her sister that said, you are so into the show. And I think they know that she's using this makeup with her father for the show. Yeah, she probably do want to make up with her father, but you are also trying to use this as your next storyline, and they refuse to let it be that. So I don't know if you guys clocked that, but I clocked it. And I was just like, There it is. Let's move on to Married to Medicine, which was also another amazing episode. So we're coming back from the heels of, Simone and that Dr. Simone and that huge blow up with her family. And, she's sick of feeling ganged up on, rightfully so. She's sick of paying for these 3 grown men in her house. Yeah, but Simone wants to live in a high-rise downtown in Atlanta. She wants to be a hot girl. She wants to have a hot girl summer. She don't want to be a mom. She don't want to be a wife. She just wants to move to a high-rise downtown and be. I don't blame her. I want to move to a high-rise every day. But the difference is I don't have children and a husband. That's why, if you guys remember watching Married to Medicine, that's why she bought a second house. She doesn't like being home. Because all she do is take care of 3 men that are asking. These men are waiting for her to get paid to ask for something. And the gag is she ended up getting the Tesla for her one son. So it's like, girl, did you really stand on anything? I don't know. That's the real gag. Jackie is like whispering to her. She's like, girl, you need to stop. Why do we care if our friends are getting divorced or not? I mean, yes, it's a sad thing, but if my friend's going to be happy or divorced, I want them divorced. Why do we even care? Why are we trying to be like, for the sake of marriage, for the sake of the church, for the sake of, working it out? If your friend want to get divorced, let her get divorced. Jackie, why? Because you're suffering in your marriage, your friend also got to suffer. It was so weird to me how she's like, oh, you don't mean it. You don't mean it. Stop saying that. We're not about to have this conversation again. It's like deja vu. What if we are going to have the conversation again? Maybe the conversation originally should have been, I should have been divorced. I mean, these women and their obsession, like, that's the one thing I will say about Married to Medicine. Like, yes, they do want to help your marriages. Married to Medicine is literally built on relationships and stuff, trying to work it out. And that's why I still think to this day, that's why they've ostracized Quad, because she didn't want to work that stuff out. She tried working it out. It ain't work. I'm leaving this man. I don't know if her next man's any much better, but she just wasn't willing to kind of do the struggle thing. She was over it. She's like, you know what? I'm only getting older. I want children, just not with you. I'm about to go find the next love of my life. She wasn't down for the struggle of. I don't think anyone should be. So you got Jackie whispering in Simone's ear, like, oh, like, get over it. Like, stop. You're fine. No. Sometimes we aren't fine. Sometimes we do want a divorce. And sometimes we want to live in a high rise. Like, what is the issue? Other than that, Toya and Eugene are having a conversation because Toya does not understand why Eugene had to pick up these hours. Toya is being a little dense. Something's going on. Mark my words. Something's going on. Something's going on. And I'll say that because even her Watch Happens live performance was very interesting. Something is going on. Like, something is very much going on. I don't know what else to say. So Toya doesn't understand why Eugene has to work extra shifts when she knows that she is an expensive person. And the only reason he is working these extra shifts is to afford the lifestyle and the new home they move into every season. But Toya, we found her weakness. Her weakness is the home. She's very defensive over the home, and we're going to get into that. She's very defensive over the home. And we see that play out this episode because she has an insane blow up and then tries to deflect it towards Dr. Mimi and Dr. Heavenly and them not being supportive. When she started on one, she doesn't like it when you talk about her house because she's so insecure about moving every season. They move every season. They build their dream home every season. And then you tell me the next season, the opening, oh, we found a better house. Oh, we like this house. So my thing is, are you getting into these homes, flipping them, putting them on the market, getting more money, taking that money, flipping the next house? Is that your business? Because maybe you should get into like interior decor. Maybe you should do something instead of just being a stay-at-home mom, Toya. Maybe you should help contribute so Eugene doesn't have to freaking go and work 2 hours from Atlanta and not come home. Or he works, I think his commute is like 2 hours and, he has to be back so quick in the morning, so early, so he just stays at a hotel. That's something that's rubbing her the wrong way and she doesn't understand. She's like, why are you picking up more? And it's almost like he wanted to go, our biggest expense is what we're going through right now. Like, he cannot afford the normal shifts he's working. He can't afford the normal shifts that he was working to sustain their lifestyle. And that's the real tea. And I feel like Toya knows that, but she likes to act a little dense. And I'm like, he's clearly working for you to afford this. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. So they kind of get into it on the boardwalk, and it's kind of setting the scene for the episode. It was just very bizarre to me that we're having this conversation like we don't know why you're getting into it. I want to talk about King and Quad. King came off very lovely last season, and maybe it's because her ex was still on the show and he wanted to prove that he is the better man. But he's not coming off the same this season. Their relationship is very like low blows. And I feel like when you start becoming nitpicky in a relationship like that, you just constantly nitpicking with people, you constantly making fun of them or pointing out flaws, something ain't right. Something ain't right, honey, in the sauce. It is not right. And I don't know. I don't know if they're going to last. And I don't know if they should be doing this intimate IVF process if they are not going to get married, because King seems done with her stuff. He throws a lot of shots at her. He made a call about her walls being worn out. And I don't know if he's saying he didn't worn them out or if he's saying she's ran out, like she's worn out. I don't know. And then he has some comments last episode about, you know, her trying to working out. He's like, you trying to unbig that back. There's just some kind of like snide remarks that they keep having. So we're monitoring that. We're monitoring that. I still love Miss Quad, but I would hate for her to get into another deprecating relationship. I would hate for it to be something that's like you're always with a man that's like talking down to you and you're always having like to get into it with it. Like get into it with them, because that's what it's honestly giving. What else is going on? I love Dr. Mimi and her husband, Steve. And Steve be having that stuff on. He had that low outfit on, that 2-piece set in his confessional. I genuinely enjoy them. And they open up about the challenges with their son, Stevie. I didn't realize their children were 18 months apart. They open up about like the challenges with him being diagnosed with autism, and then we actually witnessed, like the viewers, a whole scene of him like hitting his sister out of nowhere. It seems as though to us like he just slapped her, and then they had to like stop, and it was just a very emotional scene to actually like see it play out. And then even in the confessional, you could see Steve is like getting teary-eyed, and he's like trying not to look at the camera because it's like something they're still trying to figure it out with the autism, and just like how to parent that. And it was just like so raw and vulnerable to see this man, this 6'5" man, get emotional over his son at that, you know, with struggling with autism. And I don't know, it's just very moving. I love Dr. Mimi and Steve. I really do like her. And I thought she came on as Toya's friend, but it seems like they are not in a good place. Even on Watch Weapons Live, Toya was like, I think that she just thinks that Mimi operates very sneaky or whatever. Or like, she does not like Mimi. I think she's threatened by her because Mimi seems very secure in her life. And I think Toya is threatened by anyone that is a working woman and that can still take care of the children. Because Toya just sits on her butt. And it is a butt. And man, it is a butt. Gosh. But that's all Toya do is complain. Is literally complain to Eugene about he worked too much. He don't work enough. Then it's an issue. How y'all gonna pay for it in the next house? And that's why I was loving the girls honestly clocking her when she had the women over, like in the confessional, saying like, this house would be nice, and I hope the tree is removable for when you move out and someone else don't want the tree, because you know you don't have to stay in this house. Like, why do you guys keep moving? There was a blind item talking about a housewife, so I don't think it's about Toya and Eugene. I don't think Eugene's dumb either. Like, there's a blind item going around though about like a housewife also being investigated, her and her husband, through the FBI. There was hits saying it was Lisa Barlow, Shamia Morton, and then also hearing Whitney and Justin from Salt Lake City. but there's something brewing. Don't be shocked if something comes out within the next couple of months, because this blind item page is typically correct. It's kind of crazy. So I've been following that. But other than that, so Toya is getting ready to host her party, and she tells Eugene that she kind of already started something with Dr. Heavenly. Toya's very triggered by Dr. Heavenly, and I don't know why. Like, she lets Dr. Heavenly, I will agree with Dr. Simone, she lets Dr. Heavenly kind of get under her skin. And so Toya literally texts in the group chat, she's like, whose fake Balenciaga bag is this? And even Eugene's like, why we gotta start it off like that? Like, what is up? Like she's like, and my thing is, like, when you're a label whore, when all you have to show are your labels in your closet, the closet that is always changing every season, what do you really have out of life? Like, all you talk about is like being this labelist. Like, I just can't stand people. Their whole identity is with the label on their clothes. Like, you can mix high fashion with low fashion. Like, it doesn't, not everyone needs to know that you understand what a real Dior is, what a real Balenciaga. Like, there's so much more to life than like whose fake Balenciaga bag this is. Why couldn't you have just said, whose bag is this? You left it. I just feel like it is so pretentious and so elitist. And so it's like, that's all you have to offer is an insult about somebody walking in with a fake Balenciaga bag. People do it. I'm sure you were doing it at one point, Toya. You still may be doing it. I mean, you threw a whole Birkin birthday, a Birkin baby shower. Like, there's still, I just don't understand. But it's like, so Heavenly being the person she is, which is why I love Heavenly, and I hate that she's been demoted because she is running for Congress now, or she's running for House, something else. But at the time, she was running for something in Georgia specifically, so she couldn't be on the show as a running mate. But I just hate that she's been kind of like demoted. But even though I still feel like we're still getting her, but I need more of her. So she responds, that is my bag, but hey, at least my house is paid off. Keep in mind, Toya is telling Eugene this whole conversation, which I probably wouldn't have told my husband. And so then Toya goes, well, I would hope it's paid off. You bought it in 2002. So that is already brewing. Fast forward to the party, okay? Toya honestly seems off to me. You could tell me this woman went to the bathroom to do some AC like Jody from Real Housewives of Miami, and I would believe you, because she seemed a little off her rocker. Maybe she was drunk. She's very mean and aggressive towards Eugene. Mimi comes in. I don't know if it's because Mimi and Quad are super close now. Mimi comes in and she like puts the napkin on the thing, like sits down, and Toya is very upset because it's like a concrete canvas, and like Mimi has on a dress, so maybe she just didn't want any dirt, and Toya calls her out and saying like, you think it's dirty? Like, you're not gonna sit there? Why are you sitting on that little napkin? Like, she's just like, oh my gosh. And even Mimi and Steve, they come in and they're like, dang, like there's a lot of negative energy. Like, she already kind of started on one. Now, on Watch Happens Live, Toya is claiming that Mimi, did that on purpose and she was trying to get a rise out of her. But Toya, she's missing some parts of the story, because she also said on Watch Happens Live that, what really got to her was Eugene's reaction and basically how bothered he was by the ladies coming for the house. And it's like, I don't think they were bothered. I don't think he was bothered with them. I think you were bothered with them commenting on the house. So you've already said that in the confessional, because they've came for all of your houses. Because why are you always moving? She would hate me because I'm going to be making a comment. Girl, why are you moving again? Like, it's not like you move in different apartments. Like, oh, like, yeah, I want to experience this apartment. Like, you are taking your family, uprooting them to a new shiny house every season and saying, oh, it's your dream house, and then uprooting them for the next dream house. The math's not mathing. How many dream homes are there? Normally there's like one or two. Like, she moves every season, y'all. Like, it's really weird to me. So then she gets into it. So Heavenly walks in, and she's like asking for her bag. And then Toya, I think she was drunk, because Toya was like, do you really think my closet would have even closed with that fake bag up there? I'm like, you mean to tell me every bag you got up there is a designer? Like, it's just like, girl. So she was already on one with Heavenly, and then she's trying to play a game with the guys, and she's like, yeah, we're going to play a game. She's putting the hula hoops on the ground, and she's like, because we have a couples trip coming up, and we need everyone to be able to show off their bodies. I felt like that was kind of a hit towards your husband because he's not the most in shape. And then she's like, yeah, we're about to test physical abilities. But I'm like, Toya, you're not the best in shape either. Like, you look good, but like, it's not like you in shape either. So I just don't know what the hit was at. She's like, she wants everyone to be able to like go on the couples trip without their top on. So I don't know. It was kind of weird. And I think Eugene was just like not paying her any mind, and he was just like, whatever, like they were all writing down notes, like doctor notes, as to why they could not, because they're supposed to, the spin on the party was like, this is your like sick day, like as these doctors, like you're using your out of office day. And so they were writing down notes as to why they could not, the men were, as to why they could not participate in this challenge. And then Toya just was honestly getting very angry in the moment and started talking to Eugene crazy in front of the group, and Eugene was honestly saying nothing, which is why I couldn't be with someone like Eugene. Like, you gotta say something. Like, but you should never talk to your partner like that in front of a group of people at your party in your house. I also don't think that. And she does that often. But that's why I said their relationship works for them, because Eugene will take it. He will take the disrespect in front of the people. He don't care. Which is beyond me. So yeah, Toya and Eugene, they start arguing, and then Toya's like, you need to be a leader and lead the men, it was just a lot. She was very hostile at her own party in her own home. Like I said, I literally thought she was on drugs, or it could have been the alcohol. She was very angry. She was very angry during this party, and it was a lot. It was a lot of hostile energy, and I was just like, girl, what is going on? So, yeah, she calls out Eugene. She says he not making no eye contact. They start arguing in front of people, and then she starts crying to, like, I think Anila and Dr. Contessa, and then he comes in there, and they try to hash it out. And he was like, you're letting XYZ get the best of you. And then Toya's basically like, F them bees, them hater bees. And then she's talking about Dr. Heavenly and Mimi, because they were the ones that saying, girl, like, let's not do this here. They were just like in her ear, like, hey, I think even Heavenly was like, girl, do not talk to him like this in front of, like, this is just the wrong path. Like, it was a whole scream. Like, she was trying to embarrass Eugene. It was very difficult. And we've seen her do this before, but like I said, I would have thought she was literally on drugs the way she was talking this episode. Like, it was very weird. I think her behavior at Watch Happens Live was really weird. I think she probably regrets a lot because she's still deflecting and saying that it was Heavenly's fault. I don't know. It was very weird, her behavior. I have no other words for it besides very weird, very peculiar. It was just very odd situation. So okay, now we're at, and there's this other scene where Steve is like literally peeking in the kitchen, trying to see them arguing. Like, Steve's literally peeking in the kitchen. So that was a whole other thing. Guys, I'm like losing Wi-Fi, I think, because of this snow coming down. So I'm gonna have to log off soon. I'm at the end anyway. But you have Steve like peeking in the corner. And like I said, Toya, she just seemed a true mess, honestly. So then she addresses the group. She calls them hating bees. Even Curtis is like, what is going on? Mimi and Heavenly end up leaving because Toya has now turned her point of view, her direction towards Mimi and Heavenly. She is upset that they were getting off on her and Eugene arguing, which was not happening. They were not getting off on that. I think they were trying to, de-escalate the situation, but she doesn't see it that way. She thinks they were intentionally, trying to provoke the situation to get worse. And yeah, she just became very ugly, that scene. Yeah, she just became very ugly that scene. And even Watch What Happens Live, she said it's probably like one of the most difficult episodes that they had to watch together. I don't know. Toya was off her rockers, but that was your episode. It's just interesting to me how she has turned this into a Heavenly and Mimi thing. Like she's upset with them now when it's like you were upset with your husband. It just was blown out of proportion. Honestly, it was a good episode, but like I said, I'm just so confused where to look. There was just so much going on, and it could never be me talking to my partner like that or my partner talking to me like that in front of people. But that's how Eugene and Toya function. I think he likes the fact that she disrespects him because he still has not left her. But that is my piece on it. My piece on it. But thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I will try to get an episode to you on Friday. I will really try. Like I'm logging off to do some research on Jersey Shore right after this. However, if I do not, like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will definitely see you next Tuesday for our Toxic Tuesday. Until then, bye.